Hello again everybody and welcome to my channel Jersey Shore Pondscapes videos. My name is Chris. Today we are looking at this second video in a series of 5 that we're doing on special and unique ponds that I've built in the past. Today's video is incredible. This whole project is not only a koi pond, but it is an entire landscape project that redefined the entire front yard of this property. There's a natural pond here that used to be basically a mud hole that we totally dug out, dredged, reshaped a little bit, and landscaped all around it and put in an incredible waterfall. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to show you a lot of pictures here and work along progress of our job, and you can see a lot of the pictures now. Now this job was done in 2 stages. The koi pond was built first, I want to say in 2009, and the landscaping and the natural pond was worked on in 2010 and 2011. Now this natural pond was really not so natural. It was man-made. As far as we know, it was dug out on this property in the early 1970s, and there is no streams or anything feeding in or out of this. It's just a self-contained hole basically in the front yard of this property. So I hope you enjoy it. This is an incredible job, one I'm really proud of, and it's actually I did it for a good friend of mine who actually passed away from cancer a few years back. So I still go to this property all the time. I maintain the ponds, and I think about them every time I go there. All right. Take care. Enjoy the video. We'll see you soon. Okay. So here we are. We're building a koi pond up here right on the side of the house, and I have the flags all laid out here. We're dealing with an elevation as well that goes from the house down to a natural pond. So as the property moves forward toward, you can kind of see the natural pond in the front, the grade goes downhill. So basically we built this retaining wall on the right hand side to level off the property, and we're going to backfill all against there. So we're starting to dig out the hole. I placed a skimmer over here in place. There's going to be 2 large 16-inch skimmers in this pond and 4 bottom drains. Each skimmer is got 2 4-inch pipes with bulkheads to each one that are gravity fed all into a filter system. So here you can see the skimmers, you can see the 4 bottom drains in the bottom of the pond, and everything is going to be plumbed all the way back to the right hand side corner, and they're all going into a big filter area that we have here. There's 2 150-gallon tanks that the bottom drains go into, 2 pipes, 2 bottom drains into each tank, and there's 2 100-gallon tanks that each 2 pipes from each skimmer go into. So two pipes into one tank, 2 pipes in the other. There's all 4-inch gate valves in front of each line as well. So here's the pond as it's almost completed. We finally filled it up with water. You can see now this is the front of the pond as the grade goes down, and you can see I've built up this whole front of the pond, and we did this area cutout here. It's a big moss rock and concrete wall that we made into like a feeding area. And here's our waterfall, right? Really large flat moss rock boulders on this thing all the way around. It's fed by a 13,000 gallon per hour 3-inch pump. So here we go. We're slowly getting some more landscaping around it. You can also see there's a smaller waterfall in the far back of the picture, and to the right hand side of that waterfall there's a small little pond on top called like a little nursery pond that we like tried to put in place so we can put smaller young baby fish in. But that overflows into the main pond as well. So here's this wall. okay, this feeding area. And this is really cool because the fish can swim right on up to you. You know, and you literally can stand there, and the fish are at waist level to you. And there's a moss rock staircase that goes up to a bluestone walkway. Now, this bluestone walkway basically divides the koi pond from another waterfall that goes all the way down to the natural pond that's in the front yard. They are separate. There is a wall of rock in the center of this bluestone walkway that divides the pond from the waterfall, because the waterfall on the left-hand side actually goes down to the natural lake and uses the water from the lake, so we don't want to mix it. Okay, so here's a picture of the staircase going up to the bluestone walkway, koi pond on the right, waterfall on the left. And here's just another shot of it. But it looks pretty cool because it looks exactly like the water is coming out from the koi pond and flowing underneath that little bluestone walkway and going right down the waterfall. So it was a pretty neat effect on that. So here's a front view of the waterfall coming down. It goes into a little holding basin, and then there's a short little run where it goes down into the main pond, the big natural pond down in the front. A lot of rock in this job, a lot of work. We had to deal with a lot of different elevations, you know, the grade, to level off that whole koi pond, get everything all nice and squared and leveled up, and then, you know, try to come up with the most optimum design as we could. So here's a little spillway. See, I put a little geyser on the top of this little pond there that just flows right back down. This is a view from actually the standing on that little bluestone walkway, bluestone bridge, and that's looking down, you know, down toward the bottom to the natural pond. So here's back where the filter system is. Okay, that's all the electrical stuff he had done on the electric. There's a circuit for each pump and each UV light. These are a bunch of valves that all go back to the pond. And, you know, here's just some random pictures. As the waterfall on top, you can see that little nursery pond on the right-hand side. Okay, now this pond has two pumps. Two 12 or 13,000 gallon per hour 3-inch pumps. There's two 150 watt high output pent air UV sterilizers, and you know, there's those four filter tanks, two tanks for the bottom drains and 2 tanks for the skimmers. So all in all, we have 8 4-inch lines feeding into this filter system. We also later on did put on a Aqua 30,000 gallon side mount 3-inch bead filter as well, just for a little extra biofiltration. Here's the pond in the spring with a really pretty purple plum all in bloom and flower. Fish are getting big. Again, this pond was built back in like 2009, so it's been several years now. This is the retaining wall that we did along the back edge of the pond. That, you know, holds, it's got the paver wall, and then there's actually a 6x6 tie wall behind it. Here's one of his fish coming up, looking for some food. So, okay. So now we're going to move on. This is the front yard, okay? So as we're up by the house and we're looking down, this is the natural pond that used to be in the front yard. It basically was just a deep hole. It was dug out, and looks like all the dirt was put on the sides and just built up. So we had big berms all around this pond. There really wasn't much access to it because in order to get down to the water, you had to walk down this steep hill to get there, all around it. And in the summer, it really lost a lot of water, and it just was a big mud pit. It had a big, you know, mud ring, 6 feet all around the sides of this pond, so you couldn't even go down there. So we worked a little magic, and this is a little video of what it turned into. So this was all the way in the back facing the house. We did this big waterfall, and we did all the grading and landscape work. We cut down that big hill. We lowered it. We made a couple different levels so you can walk down by the pond and walk all around the property now without, being on this big hill. Retaining walls all down the side, all new plantings. So this waterfall is really big. It's got to be at least 10, 12 feet high and probably 15 to 20 feet wide. I can't tell you how many tons of boulders we put in there. Probably 30, 40 ton of boulders and rock went into these waterfalls. It's all, a natural pond. We did put a rubber liner underneath it. And there are also two 13,000 gallon per hour pumps on each one of those on those waterfalls. There's two pumps that are pulling water out of the lake. So here's just a picture of the waterfalls being built, with the liner behind it. And it's, it's a time-consuming thing. It's just placing one rock at a time. It's all done with cement, and filling it all up with all the smaller stone around it, and doing the grading and stuff around the back, and really just designing and making it something really cool. So, we did all the sod, we did all the berms. These are going to just be a whole collage of pictures here on all different aspects of it. And it really came out to be pretty incredible. So there's the front yard instead of the mud pit that they had. The wall in the front here on the left-hand side is all backed with what's called gabings. They're those big wire cages that are all filled with rock, because it is a pretty high drop. There's a good 6-8 foot drop, and we just needed a lot of extra support. So these are just all random pictures of everything all around here that we did. Pretty amazing. This side is the right-hand side of the pond here. This goes all the way up, and if you walk this trail back up, it brings you all the way back up to the koi pond. There you go. There's a staircase at the far end with some stepping stones set in the grass that lead you right up to that blue stone bridge that went over the pond. That's a really cool shot. That gives you the whole fit. You can see the waterfall coming down from the koi pond. The koi pond is up on that top level, that waterfall that comes down to the natural lake. And then you just go up a little flight of stairs and go up the little hill, and it takes you right up to the koi pond. Nice little bench to sit and relax. There's the steps, the staircase, and you can see the bluestone set in the lawn to go up to the bluestone bridge. This little peninsula, I did this big, huge flat rock out onto the water. That was really cool because his son used to go out on this rock with a little speedboat, and he could, if any geese would come by, he would harass the geese with a little remote control speedboat thing. It was pretty cool. So here we go. This is a view. The left-hand side is from the waterfall back up to the koi pond, and the right-hand side is the koi pond down back to the waterfall. So that's the same side, same image, area of the pond. It's just the view from from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top, so to speak. And we'll show this video here one more time. Okay, so this is a picture now from the waterfall. I'm probably standing up on the waterfall, and it's you know, a view back to the house of the whole pond. And if you remember one of those original images I had with that big mud hole with the mud ring all around it from the original pond, you can kind of compare it to this now and see, you know, the difference, right? There's the waterfall from the koi pond down to the natural pond again. Now this pond, this koi pond, has well over 50 fish, probably closer to like 75, 80 fish in there, and they're all getting really, really quite big now. The pond has been great. I'm there once a month cleaning the filters and taking care of whatever needs to be done, but it's still kicking. So let's just go back, okay? Remember what the front of this yard did look like, okay? So here's the old pond. This is what the front was. It was just a mosquito-infested swamp, basically. And this is from the house looking back down. There was just no access to walk around the side of the pond. And this is just a picture of me sitting on the rocks on the side of this waterfall. This is a great picture because it kind of just gives you the scale of how big this waterfall really is. It's really incredible. It's really a masterpiece, really. Yeah, it's big, and there's water coming from all over the place on this. I've got a lot of pipes and a lot of plumbing on the back of this thing, you know, spreading the water out, and really pretty neat. It has a great sound too, and as you come down his driveway, you can see this whole thing, and it's really impressive. Okay, so thanks for checking this out. I hope you really enjoyed it. This has been a really great project, and we'll hope to see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Take care.